What's up? What's up, everybody? We're back. We're live on stream. I'm back with hair. Got a little hair growing out. Give me 2 weeks, I'll have a little afro. I'll hop on looking like James Brown Jr. It's going to be a beautiful day to be alive. Welcome back to the channel right here on Cassius Morris Official. We're currently streaming out to YouTube and Facebook with some hilarious things to talk about today. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a good stream. I've been creeping in the background, sort of lurking, looking at the headlines in the last couple of days, and things could not have written themselves better. So we're going to wait a second for people to hop in as I adjust a couple of settings here on YouTube. But yeah, man, one hell of a week. Put the fries in the bag. Kyle, put the fries in the bag. That is the sentiment of today's stream. So as you guys saw, man, Donald Trump went ahead and decided that in the effort to win this election, in the final stretch, as we are at 13 days, approaching 13 days until the election is complete, Donald Trump decided he was going to go full force with his campaign and try to win some more votes over in Pennsylvania. So for anybody who's been following, Donald Trump has been focused heavily on Pennsylvania, and we have this hilarious video of him, I guess, working the fries at McDonald's. Now, we're going to look at the video of this first before I really comment on it, and I just want you guys to see it, and I definitely want to hear you guys' reaction in the comments as well, because there has been a very mixed sentiment towards this. Some people think it's great, some people think it's ridiculous. But let's first take a look at this video of Trump serving the fries, as the kids on TikTok say, putting the fries in the bag. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Let's take a look at this here. The former president, 45, working at McDonald's.
Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer.
Yes.
Wow. It's pretty good. Okay, let's say. Do you believe this?
Boy's in a jolly
Look at
mood.
this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
Okay, so for his first order, yep.
Boy, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it? Huh? How are you? What a good-looking family. Thank you. How did you produce those good?
I love how he says, this is not a normal situation, is it? Bro's like, what am I doing here? He just remembered where he is.
Oh, they look like you. They look like you. How are you? Nice to see you. That's great. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
This order right here.
Thank you.
We'll have you a Bucks County.
And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay?
Trump is paying for it.
Oh, you ordered some extra stuff.
Oh, okay, great.
This is all on Trump.
Oh, hold on.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Yes.
Let's check and make sure it's everything you said it would be.
It better be. It's going to be the best you ever. I made it myself.
You're the best. Make America
That's
great.
their order. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Have a
I
good
made it
time.
myself.
Have a good time. That's great, isn't it?
This
How
is
cute is
his
it?
car.
The next car?
Yes, they get both bags.
You like them both at the same time?
Yes, that is right.
Hello, how are you? You're a good-looking guy. We love you. Come here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will. I promise. Thank you very much. That's on me. Okay? Have a good time. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the White House. Thank you.
See you at the White House, he said.
Thank you very much.
There we go, guys. A little clip of former President Donald Trump working at McDonald's. So as I said, man, a lot of mixed reactions to this. So a couple of thoughts here. First of all, I will say this right off the bat. I do understand the variety of reactions because we are currently in crunch time, okay? So everything when it comes to the election is elevated. All my American friends, I know you guys are feeling it. We're feeling it out here as well. Everybody is feeling the pressure of the election. So while I could easily say that this is a lighthearted thing, the people who are criticizing it should calm down, which is kind of like the direction I'm siding towards. As easily as I could say that, I do understand that this is crunch time. It's almost the end of the election and people aren't fucking around, okay? So people, I can understand that some people don't want to see fun, goofy stunts like this. However, I will say that I think this was a pretty good move on the part of the Trump campaign, because it seems to have actually worked. I mean, when I'm looking on TikTok, I'm seeing all these videos, and this is all I've seen on my timeline for like the past couple of days since he did it. And the engagement on the videos of Trump at the White House has been insane. I mean, I've seen some of these, sorry, at the White House. At McDonald's, rather, is what I'm trying to say. I'm thinking this might get him to the White House. That's why I slipped. Freudian slip. But the engagement on these videos, I legit saw one video of Trump holding fries with 6 million likes. Okay, this video was pushing 100 million views. So this definitely seems to be working. It seems to be appealing to the base that I think Trump may have been missing. Okay, so Trump, I think, has appealed to a lot of people who maybe are a little more privileged financially, a lot of people who are sort of behind him for his tax cuts, basically people in the higher percentage of income. A lot of those people have supported Trump. That being said, though, he has had a strong base of middle-class people because of what he did for the economy in many ways while he was president. I feel like he was starting to lose some of that base in a way leading up to this new election. But now what he seems to have done is completely tap back in with that middle class base, that base of everyday workers who do work at McDonald's, who do take the bus to work, who do work in these jobs that are minimum wage, especially in the States, it's much lower. I think he's tapped back in with them. And I do think that it seems to have been because he at least appears to be authentic. I know that this is sort of one of those things, it's a very political move, right? It's very political. He's being very agreeable to everybody he sees. He's being the warm and fuzzy, almost grandpa Trump. This is sort of the grandpa Trump that we're seeing now. And I do think that this actually works for him. And whether or not it's legitimate is not what I'm looking at here, because a politician can do or say anything when they're going out to look good. Doing a stunt like this, it's not hard to look good. But the thing is that it comes off very well when Trump does it, I think, to the people who don't like him especially, or the people who are somewhat in the middle. The people who support Trump, they support him anyway. When we see Grandpa Trump coming out being nice, oh, he's a good-looking guy, get this guy over here, give him some fries, they're on Trump today, they're on Trump. That makes him look a little more approachable to the people who hate him, and the people, again, who are in the middle. And I think that this is a strategic move on Trump's part. And just taking a look at it here, we've really seen the resurgence of this ever since the shooting, okay? The first assassination attempt when Trump was shot. If you guys remember, when he came out after that in the first public appearances, when he came out at the RNC to speak and did all these public things, he was Grandpa Trump. That was the first time we actually got to see him acting wholesome, acting nice to people. He had a huge smile ear to ear. He brought his granddaughter out. Okay, the second he brought his granddaughter out after the shooting, I was like, he's won the election. Okay, I was like, that's it. He's definitely won. I mean, I thought that was the moment where he had it sold. Now, since that moment, Kamala came in, and I do think she had a lot of strength and a lot of headway since that moment. We've come a long way from that moment. But my point in saying this is that that's when we first saw the warm and fuzzy Grandpa Trump. And it seemed like the world was in love with Donald Trump for that couple weeks after he was shot. There was like a honeymoon phase with Donald Trump, where even the people who hate him, a lot of the people who hate him, not all of them, but many people who hate him, many people who just wish he would go away, seemed to have some weird new appreciation for Trump after he was shot, and he was leaning into that love and matching the energy. Shortly after that, Trump actually came out and did a speech, and he said, people are telling me I'm being nice. I have a terrible Trump. Telling me I'm being nice since I've been shot. I'm being nice. And he goes, well, you know what? The people I'm dealing with, they're not nice, okay? They're not nice. And he goes, how about I stop being nice? Is that okay? He goes, I want to stop being nice. These are Trump's words exactly, okay? So, again, we had a couple weeks after the shooting where he was being nice. He consciously realized I'm being nice and processed the reaction to it and then said he was going to stop being nice. Now, what happened when he stopped being nice? We had the disaster debate against Kamala, We've had the disastrous public appearances, which have been terrible, okay? That whole stretch after Kamala was announced as the candidate, up until I would say the last couple weeks, Trump has been bombing when it comes to his public relations, okay? Really, since Kamala was announced, Trump has only been appealing to his base. And he's turned off a lot of people on the sidelines. He turned off a lot of undecideds when Kamala, ever since she came in. And he turned off even more the people who hate him. We had the terrible clip about eating cats and dogs, which was ridiculous. We had that, again, that disaster of a debate. Again, if you missed my debate coverage, go take a look at it. I think they both did terribly. I really do. I think they both did terribly. And I honestly can't believe that they're actually letting it be just that one debate. Like, they're not actually trying to redeem themselves. I think that says a lot about the state of things. But at the end of the day, Trump now, I think, is realizing, especially if he wants to beat Kamala Harris, that he has to start being nice, and he has to start being really, really nice. And you know why he has to start being nice? Because the people who support Kamala Harris are voting with their emotions in many cases, okay? I'm not going to say all of them are, but I would say that generally we have this weird dichotomy between the right and the left, which is the right is more logic-based, I would say generally, and the left is more emotion-based. Good and bad things to both. There's great things about leading with logic, obviously. Financially, economically, it's great. Stuff like the border, I think it's great. But there's also a lot of good things about leading with emotion. It really just depends where you're leading towards, okay? So I think that if Trump is going to appeal to these people who are undecided, who are prone to voting with their emotions, he has to tap into the fact that people need to like you, okay? And that's one thing that Trump has never been good at. If you don't already like him, it's fuck you. He's never cared about making anybody like him. He happened to have a lot of people who just like him. So he's never been the guy who actually knows how to make somebody like him. And that is what he's tapping into now. So again, I think it's a good approach. I think the McDonald's stunt was hilarious. I mean, look at this picture, dude. This is literally right out of a South Park episode. Let's see what you guys are saying. Make sure to subscribe if you're liking the stream, guys. Subscribe. If Trump is so great, who says Trump is great? See, here's the thing too. This is the funny thing about these streams is that I just speak objectively about whoever's coming up. So if it's Kamala Harris, I just speak objectively. If it's Trump, I speak objectively. I'm not speaking from a politically motivated standpoint. But the thing with Trump is that if you're not saying you hate him, it's always assumed that you support him. Find me one video where I've ever said I support Donald Trump. I challenge anybody watching this to produce one tape of me saying I support Donald Trump, unless they clip that. Okay, they're gonna clip that. They're gonna say, they're just gonna play that on a loop. I support Donald Trump. But seriously, I've never said I support Donald Trump. I've never said I'm against Donald Trump. I'm simply talking about the issue. And that's the thing. People like to paint you with their brush. That's fine with me, but just so you guys know, this is not a political endorsement one way or another. I'm simply speaking on the facts. So that's really, yeah, you just said it exactly. Who do you guys support in the chat? Is this a Trump chat or a Kamala chat? Who do you guys like? Trump 24. The Biden-Harris administration committed treason by allowing our borders to be flooded. I agree with that. Kamala just sounds more peaceful. There you go. I mean, see, that's the thing. Some people just need to like you. Trump, there's a lot of Trump. Okay. Shout out my Trump supporters. Shout out my liberals too. I love everybody. Look, I love all you guys, okay? But my point is this. I do think that if Trump can keep this going and he's doing it at the right time, if he wants to win strategically, he could win. Okay? And like I say, Kamala was heating up. But my friends, we are now going to hop over to the Kamala. I'm going to call it the Kamala Harris disaster. Okay? So as we know, it's been a struggle for Kamala Harris to really be able to say much of anything. Obviously, interviews and long form speaking are not her strong point, which to me makes me question why anyone thinks she might be fit to be the president. But again, Kamala Harris has been hiding, and she's out of hiding in the last couple of weeks. She's done a ton of podcasts. She's done a ton of interviews. She even did the Call Her Daddy podcast. Very presidential. But her most recent interview that she did that caused a big stir was her interview with Fox News. And I watched this full interview in its entirety. My jaw was absolutely on the floor. We're going to play a little clip of Kamala Harris on Fox News, and you guys tell me what exactly you think of this clip and her reaction here.
The first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the...
Finish,
Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish,
You
please.
have the right...
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
He was asked about this.
No.
And you know what's funny about this too, by the way, is that we're looking at an assorted highlight reel of all different clips from the interview. And in every moment, she's only saying Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. That's the one thing about Kamala in this interview. She doesn't know how to say anything but Donald Trump. She just keeps saying Trump. And this is what you'll notice throughout this entire clip.
That's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to
that
you,
was the question that we asked him.
he didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy.
Oh my goodness, that last part, guys, is so rich. So let me get this straight. Kamala Harris of the Biden-Harris administration is talking about persecuting somebody for political motivations and trying to lock someone up because they don't agree with them. I mean, boy, that is just priceless, isn't it? I mean, seriously, it doesn't get any better than this. Now, my other favorite moment from the Kamala interview, just because it highlights the hypocrisy of this woman, and it's how really twisted she is when she said, "You are responsible for what went on in your administration." Now, she said that referring to Donald Trump. And you know why she was talking about Donald Trump in that moment during this interview? Is because that is all she talked about in this interview. Every single answer in this interview was referring to Donald Trump, to the point where at the end, Brett, the interviewer, actually said, "We invited you here because we want to learn about you. And he said, I hope you've said everything you want to say about Donald Trump because you didn't say anything about yourself." And again, this is the issue for me with Kamala Harris. I have tried to hear her out. I have tried to understand her plan. I've sought out the information. I've tried to do the homework, and I still am sitting here with nothing. I don't know how she plans to do anything. I don't know what she wants to do about the border. The only answer Kamala Harris can provide about the border, you guys know exactly what I'm going to say, is that there was a bill that when she first came into office, she supported, and Donald Trump made it so that bill couldn't go through for the Border Patrol. That's the only response, to the point where, as she started saying it in this Fox interview, the guy cut her off. The guy cut her off because he doesn't even need to listen. He knows exactly what she's going to say. And we all know what she's going to say because she's repeated the same talking points since the presidential debate. And that is my problem with Harris. She is incapable of speaking for herself. The only thing we hear from Harris is from a script. And again, people are going to take this and say, well, what about Trump? And again, it's all this whataboutism. It's always what about Trump. I think Trump says a lot of stupid shit, but at least he can speak for himself. If Trump says something stupid, we know it's coming from Trump, okay? We know it's not being written by some guy in the back room. One thing Donald Trump cannot do, which may even help him, by the way, if he was able to do this, he may be a better politician, he may get more votes if he would be able to do this, is to sit there and regurgitate a script. But that's the thing that Donald Trump cannot do, and that's the reason people love Donald Trump. His supporters love the fact that he is speaking from himself. He's not speaking from a script. He's telling you what he thinks in that moment. I have never felt like Kamala Harris is telling me what's actually on her mind. And the other issue for me is the Joe Biden cover-up, okay? The Joe Biden cover-up. The fact that she refuses to answer a single question about her hiding Joe Biden's cognitive failure, I think should make her automatically not qualified to be the president. This woman is telling us she's not going to lie to us when she just finished lying to us for 4 years. Okay, this woman has lied to the American people and lied to the world. That's what I mean when I say us, the world. About the leader of the free world's cognitive abilities. She said he was fine. She said she saw no decline in Joe Biden. Are we forgetting that? Are we forgetting that this woman has sat in the White House for 4 years and told us that that man who we saw in those videos was not in that condition? That to me is a serious problem. And if she's willing to lie about that, what else do you think she's willing to lie about? I mean, seriously, when you start to think about it, she lied about the fact that this dude didn't even know his own name. This dude doesn't know the name of officials and diplomats. They put this man up there to the point where he called President Zelensky President Putin. And you guys are telling me that this woman is honest? You guys are telling me that this woman is fit? This woman, in my humble opinion, not so humble opinion, in my opinion, Kamala Harris does not care about anybody but herself. Okay? That is the only person who Kamala Harris has served in the past 4 years, and arguably in her entire career, is herself. She's never put a single policy in place to help anybody. She's never done anything for the community she's supposed to support. She's done nothing for Black America. She's done nothing for women. Show me one thing that Kamala Harris has done for anybody but herself. She's done nothing for anyone but herself. Show me one thing. I don't understand how Kamala Harris is some savior to women. What has Kamala Harris done for women? She's done fuck all for women. The only woman she supports is Kamala Harris, okay? Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. And again, do I think Trump is a selfish person? Absolutely. But there's moments of authenticity with Trump that I don't see with Kamala Harris. Even when she sits in this interview and she said, for example, they talked about her saying that anybody crossing the border illegally is not a criminal. And then they showed her cases of people who were actually killed by illegal immigrants. And she sat there and she tried to have a moment. She goes, you know, I really, really feel for them. I really do. Sincerely. I just didn't feel it. I literally just didn't feel it. Even when Kamala sits there and she says, sincerely, I feel this, it doesn't feel sincere. So is Trump an egomaniac? Just, you know, yes, all of the above is true. He's an egomaniac. You know, he's pretty crazy in his own ways. He's selfish in a lot of ways. I completely agree, but I do think that there's a level of care that Trump has about the American people that Kamala doesn't have. It doesn't mean he doesn't have any bad qualities. What I'm saying is that I don't see what the good qualities are for Kamala Harris. Again, it's not due to lack of trying to find out. I've been watching the interviews. I've been watching these things. Again, maybe I'm confused. So that's ultimately what it is, guys. This interview was a disaster, and I do think that I don't think Harris is built for the job. I don't think she's. I just don't think she can handle the stress. By the end of this interview on Fox, she seemed, her breath was very constricted. She seemed very tense, almost shaky. Her voice was kind of wavering. And she seemed kind of like she got put in her place, I'm going to say, by Brett on this interview. She got completely put in her place. So I don't think she's built for the stress. Whatever you think about Donald Trump, or whatever I can sit here and say about Donald Trump, the one thing we can't question about Trump is his ability to handle pressure. I honestly think they need to study Donald Trump and his brain to see how the hell he can handle the pressure, because people were sick with anxiety over his presidency who were sitting at home. Like, the amount of stress that they put Donald Trump through in his 4 years, people were sick over it, having anxiety and feeling unwell, just sitting at home. And this dude stood there and took 10,000 bullets and just stood there and took it and ate them and literally took a bullet even. Not even a metaphor. But he doesn't give a fuck. And I don't know how he does it. As much as I would say Kamala Harris is not built for that job, I would also say I'm not built for that job. I don't think I could take it. I don't know if I could take what they do to these people. The pressure, the stress. Trump takes unbelievable amounts of pressure and brushes it off his shoulder like it's nothing. That is a good quality about him to me. I think that's a pretty crazy quality, and that's a quality I would want the president to have. So that's really the way I see it. That's exactly the way I see it. Even the Crips are voting for Trump. I have a feeling some of these people telling us to vote blue are working for them. Moms for Trump. Shout out Moms for Trump. Where's everybody watching from? Is everybody from America, or are people watching from other countries as well? I love hopping on and talking about this, man. And again, it's because I'm looking at this from an open standpoint. I'm simply calling it like I see it. That's the way it is. Shout out New Jersey. Texas in the building. Yes, Texas. I love Texas. Shout out Dallas. Washington State. Yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think down below. And who do you guys think is going to win the presidential election in 2024? We got a couple days to go. Just over 10 days to go. I would say if you asked me this a month ago, I would have said it might have been Harris. Because again, when she came out and she really was pushing when she first got announced as the candidate, and also before we heard a lot from her. Because again, there was sort of this illusion that she was like an intelligent woman. Like there was this illusion that she had big plans and that she had a lot of big ideas that she was waiting to present. I think that in that time, she actually had a pretty good chance of winning, because she seemed like the better option, potentially. But then when reality actually set in, and we realized she's in office now and she's done fuck all, she has no ideas, she has no plans, and she has no ability to speak for herself, that seems to have sort of faded away. It's like the more she speaks, the more we realize how unqualified she actually is. So I think that that's faded away. So if you asked me a month ago who I thought was going to win, I would say Kamala. Or a couple weeks ago. Now I'm going to say I would think definitely Trump would win. Just because his actual support on the ground is massive. I know a lot of Americans. I talk to a lot of Americans. I've spent time there. I keep up on what's going on. And I am sort of stunned as to the amount of support Donald Trump actually has. He has a lot of support. So I think he's going to win it. And even in Canada, out here in Canada, it's crazy because they did a new study and 1 in 5 Canadians actually support Donald Trump, even living here, which is crazy, right? That's about 21% of the country in Canada supports Donald Trump. That was something I was surprised to find out. But again, why is it a surprise? Because everywhere you go, you hear support for Trump. You see it on all the comments, support for Trump. I live in Canada. I literally see people in MAGA hats out here. Like literally people in MAGA hats. And somebody might wonder, well, why? Why would a Canadian support Trump? It's because we are affected by the prices of everything here from the United States. The prices in the States go up. The prices in Canada go up. Okay, we get things sent in from the States. The price to get those things sent in, the price of gas, all of these things actually do affect Canada. So people can easily say, oh, Canadian, you can't have any say. You don't have the right to vote. That's very convenient. My response is always this. If you want to be the superpower of the world, then you have to take on the responsibilities of being the superpower, which means you impact everything else that happens, okay? Especially in the countries right next to you. So, yeah, it actually kind of does make sense why Canadians would want cheaper groceries and cheaper gas because, first of all, our leader is not capable of doing so, okay? Our people in the House of Commons here are completely ass backwards, and we're going to get into that here soon. But yeah, we are not capable of setting it right, obviously, on our own. So I can understand why some people would think that way. Make sure to hit the like button, guys, and hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing a lot more coverage leading up to the election. Shout out everybody in here, man. Stormy Daniels. I don't care about Stormy Daniels. I don't care about any of that stuff. Just like I don't care about, like, people try to dig up Trump, who he slept with. I don't give a shit about that. People try to dig up Kamala Harris's racial background and they try to talk about, she's not black or I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't impact anything. It literally doesn't affect the price of groceries. I care about the price of groceries, the price of gas, jobs, education. That's what I care about. So Donald Trump could fuck 1,000 porn stars. I don't give a fuck. I literally don't care. Kamala Harris could be from Guatemala. Okay, maybe I do care because it's not legal. But I don't care about Kamala Harris's history. I don't. People are worried about all that shit. Groceries are down. Well, I don't know what fucking stores you're shopping at, Meta, but the groceries are not down for me. Not even out here, bro. Not even out here. Yeah, guys. I need to plug my phone in, but I don't want to unplug the microphone. Let me see. I might have to switch microphones, which kind of sucks, but I think we'll do it just to keep the stream going. Okay. Are we really going to do this right now? 1 second. Okay. Give me a second, guys. We're going to put this together here. Hang on a second. God damn it, guys. I feel like such a rookie. I should have came prepared. I should have came 1000% prepared for stream. My apologies. We were doing this on the fly a little bit. So we're locked in now. So, let's see what we got. Shout out Kev, the Kevster. Okay. Okay, guys. Let me know if you can hear me, and then I'll keep going. Just let me know if you can hear. On the regular microphone. Then we'll jump back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We good? Okay, thanks, guys. I'm just reading what you guys are saying. There's one hell of a conversation in the chat down below, and I always love to hear what you guys have to say. We got Blacks for Trump in the building. Shout out Blacks for Trump. Shout out all my liberals. Whatever you want to be called. Okay, so hopping over to the next story. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was last night. Did you guys watch the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It was pretty awesome. So a lot of people got in. There was some hip-hop acts that went in. We're going to pull up the list of the people who actually went in. But the main person who was honored this year was Ozzy Osbourne. And there was a lot of mixed reactions to this. Now, see, Kevin says it's horrible in the chat. So yeah, they did the Ozzy Osbourne tribute. We're going to play a couple of clips from it. So the first one is Maynard James Keenan, of course, the singer of Tool. He was enlisted to sing Crazy Train. And this was in a celebrity supergroup that they put up. So this was, I think, Wolfgang Van Halen. There was Robert Trujillo of Metallica. Maynard was singing. And yeah, they had a crazy all-star lineup for this performance. So let's take a little listen from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is the supergroup themselves honoring Ozzy. Okay, so that was that was a clip from the Crazy Train performance. It looks like the chat really doesn't like it at all. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying that the performance wasn't good. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. I mean, I think that definitely the performance was well intentioned. Okay, there was a good intention for the performance because the reason they're singing and Ozzy's not singing is because Ozzy was sick. Okay, so Ozzy was unwell. He wasn't able to actually perform for himself. He was in attendance. So what they decided to do was have a bunch of rock icons come in and perform basically to take his place. Okay, now I think this idea is really good. I do. I think it's a nice idea. But do I think that this was executed properly? No. I think Maynard James Keenan, he just sounds like Maynard. There's no reason for me that I need to hear Maynard singing Ozzy. Crazy Train as well, I don't think it needs to be covered by anybody, man. Like, I don't need to hear Crazy Train covered by anybody. Ozzy sang Crazy Train the best, and that's where we need to leave it. I don't know. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the next one. This is Jelly Roll. They brought out Jelly Roll to sing the next one, to sing Mama, I'm Coming Home. Yeah, I put a little clip of that. You're saying Archibald says I hit the nail on the head. It's terrible. Sounds like shit acoustics. And again, guys, look, this is a phone recorded video that I'm playing for you guys through a phone. So obviously it's not going to sound stellar here. But I do think that this is not it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. God, Jelly Roll, I love you. I honestly think Jelly Roll is phenomenal. I think Maynard is great. I think everybody involved in this performance was great, but not together. You know, it's kind of like I like ice cream. You know, I like meatballs. I like ginger. I don't like it all together. Okay, you put you know, ice cream, meatballs, and ginger in one bowl, I'm gonna fucking puke. That's exactly how I kind of feel about this terrible analogy. Really, really sloppily put together analogy. Like, I've had way better moments than that, guys. Like, that was not a good analogy. But you still get what I'm saying, and you understand the point I'm trying to get across. So, yeah, ultimately, I would say it's a nice, touching tribute to Ozzy, but it definitely was not what I needed. Also inducted were Mary J. Blige, A Tribe Called Quest were inducted. Who else was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last night? I didn't actually watch it, by the way. I guess it was on HBO. I wasn't watching HBO at the time. But yeah, Mary J. Blige, Tribe Called Quest, Ozzy Osbourne, and the Dave Matthews Band were all inducted. You know, I gotta say, though, at this point, does it really even matter? I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, to me, is kind of washed up. That's really what I would say about this. Like, listen, I truly think it's actually shameful that Ozzy Osbourne was honored so late that he actually couldn't participate in being honored. Like, shame on you, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How stupid are you guys? You're gonna wait to induct Ozzy Osbourne till he's 79 years old? This dude has been the king, the prince, I should say, of metal for 50 fucking years. And you're telling me that 2024 going into 2025 is when Ozzy cuts it? Ozzy is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I don't want to hear otherwise. I don't want to hear about your taste. I don't care about your taste. Ozzy Osbourne is a pioneer. He's a legend. He should have been in there a long time ago. They should not be waiting until this dude is on... I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say that. They shouldn't wait till Ozzy is in the condition he's in, because I love Ozzy. You mess with Ozzy, you're messing with me, okay? They should not wait until he's in this condition to honor him. It is terrible, okay? That's what I'll say about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You guys are a joke, okay? You don't have Iron Maiden in there. Who else do you not have in there? Nobody good, okay? There's not one good artist until now into the Rock and Roll Hall of fucking Fame. Mary J. Blige in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Boy, we've all been waiting for that one. Like, who the hell is running this? Who's running this? Mary J. Blige. That's who we need in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I need fucking Tom Brady in the Aviation Hall of Fame next. Like, what the fuck? That's as relevant. It's literally as relevant. Why are we, like, make a different hall. Make a different Hall of Fame. Do they not deserve it? Does hip-hop not deserve? Like, we got a Tribe Called Quest last night. Who the fuck thinks that a Tribe Called Quest belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like, what are you smoking that makes you think that? I don't get it. But they do it as some sort of... It's like trying to gain control over the entire music business. It's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is reaching beyond their actual genre to try to, like, get control over other things. Really, there's no control to be had. it shouldn't be. It needs to be just rock artists, Anastasia. That's what I'm saying. There's no reason you should have hip hop artists in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I say that because hip hop deserves its own Hall of Fame. Hip hop has plenty enough content and R&B and all those genres that they should have their own Hall of Fame. Simple and plain. And if you disagree, that just means you are disrespecting hip hop. I mean, there's so much. And it would be so much better if they had their own Hall of Fame for hip hop. It would. That's my opinion. Anastasia, we can agree to disagree. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. I personally would love to go to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame one day and watch the ceremony and watch everybody get put with honor and everything like that. Everything we do, someone steals it. Who's we? The industry doesn't promote rock artists as much, which blows. Yes, I agree. And that's why we should have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to be for the rockers. That's what I'm saying. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, rock. That's what I'm saying. I grew up on rap from the beginning. It's pointless because they'll give it to people that don't deserve. Well, Anastasia, they do that already. They do that already. I mean, they're gonna give Sexy Red a VMA, regardless. I hear what you're saying there. I do hear what you're saying there, but that's already happening. Ice Spice is already at number 1. So there's. I hear what you're saying. Nathaniel, you're a legend, brother. Thank you. What's the point? I mean, look, if the culture wants stricter boundaries, the culture is going to have to enforce them. At the end of the day, if the culture runs itself, prove it. It's got to govern itself. It's got to have gatekeepers. It's got to have better rules. We need people like Ye. We need people like Ye coming back. We need people who are going to set some ground rules. But I think, if the rap culture is going to run itself, it's got to step up and do it. Hey, what's up, bro? I met you at the Kiss concert at the Soundcheck. Hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you. You have a Big Johnson? Good for you, buddy. I'm really happy to hear it. Ever since the Kiss incident in 2014, I've not watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I can't blame you, bro. They totally did Kiss wrong. JID is dope. Yes, he is. 100%. Dreamville and TDE. Yes, sir. Yeah, you guys get it, man. I'm a gentleman for wearing clothes. I agree. I happen to agree. Thank you. What else can we talk about? Is there other stuff we can talk some shit about? This has been so much fun. Wasn't I a groupie for Kiss? I'll be whatever you want me to be, buddy. Whatever gets me paid. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre's a legend. Absolutely. All right, guys. So, yeah, basically, we covered a lot today. Donald Trump working at McDonald's. We talked about Kamala Harris's disastrous Fox News interview. We're going to have a lot more content like this coming up, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit the like button. If you're watching on your phone, just double tap. Let's talk about the history of merging hip-hop and rock. I think we will talk about that. I probably will have to... I'll probably have to do a little bit more research with that. But yeah, definitely, I mean... here's the thing about... Actually, we can talk about that, because here's the thing. I gotta pull this clip. Oh, fuck. See, I wish I could pull a clip live, but it's fucking me up. It's not letting me pull clips live. I have to load them on my phone, and then I have to put them for you guys. Let me see if I can do this, because I want to pull this one clip. And we're going to see if we can talk about it. Okay, I'm just gonna play it. Fuck it. We're gonna do it. We're doing it live. We're just gonna play it right off the computer like a savage. We're an hour in. Whoever's here is real. Whoever's left is already fucking gone. This is the clip I want to reference from Ye. Let's go.
Rap the new rock and roll. We culture. Rap is the new rock and roll. We the rock stars.
It's been like that now for a minute.
It's been like that for a minute, Hedy Stamane. It's been like that for a minute. We the real rock stars, and I'm the biggest of all of them. I'm the #1 rock star on the planet.
There you go. Kanye West. Now, that was back in, I believe, 2010, 2011. Kanye West saying, I am the biggest rock star on the planet. Now, the thing that I was thinking about the other day is that when he first said this in 2011 or so, this was such a shocking comment, and it came off so badly because everybody was like, what on earth are you talking about? There's no similarities here. But this is the reason Kanye is so prophetic when it comes to what he says a lot of the time. In the 10 years since he said that, or even more now, rock has basically fused with hip-hop because all of these new gen rappers want to be rock stars. You look at a guy like Playboi Carti. He's a self-proclaimed rock star. The shows that he does are basically crazier, and this is going to make a lot of people mad. So just strap in for a second and hear me out. Some of the shows we're seeing today from rappers like Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi Vert, they are crazier than the concerts that Metallica was doing in the 80s and 90s. They are crazier than some of the metal shows that we've actually seen. And it's with the lore. Like, this is kind of how you pictured some of those shows, but this is it actually happening. Travis Scott shows are rock and roll. Playboi Carti shows are rock and roll. And they have actually become the new rock and roll. They've become bigger than rock and roll today. Now, a lot of people, you're very mad. I understand you're mad. But here's why you shouldn't be mad. Is because that's what rock and roll is. Okay? Rock and roll is something newer, something more cutting edge, something younger, and something faster that comes out. That's what rock and roll is, my friends. And guess who that was in their time, in their heyday? That was Metallica, that was Kiss, that was AC/DC, that was Pink Floyd. And guess what? Those artists, the bands that I just mentioned, are better than Lil Uzi Vert, obviously. Better than Playboi Carti, obviously. More legendary, obviously. However, that rock and roll vibe of newer, younger, better, faster, that has been embodied in today's hip-hop culture. 1,000%. Okay, these dudes are modern-day rock stars. And the stuff they're doing is insane. So that's what I would say about the fusion. It's, I would say that Playboi Carti is a lot more similar to Marilyn Manson than he is to Tupac. Because that is the way that the rap culture is gone. These rappers today are more like Marilyn Manson, more like Johnny Rotten, more like Sid Vicious than they are like Tupac and like Biggie. So that, my friends, is the long way of saying that this cat needs to shut the fuck up. That's what I was about to really say. You motherfucker! Ruining my streams every day. He just wants camera time. Oh, I love you, buddy. But it's crazy to see the way that it is fused and that it's kind of become one. Right, buddy? You're a rock star, aren't you? Don't love me too much. So yeah, guys, that's about it. They're going for shock value like Alice Cooper. Exactly. Exactly. I'd say punk and grunge was the height of youth music. Yeah, you know what, Meta, I wasn't really there for that. That was before I was actually even born. So yeah, I would say though for sure, like just like what punk and grunge did in its time, I think that a lot of the rap is doing that now. Is kind of what I'm saying. Crowd surfing, exactly. Hey, big love to RA. Big love, Nova Scotia. Sorry, guys, I had the chat. It wasn't popping up for a second there, so I'm catching up on what you guys were saying. What is a Travis Scott concert like? I remember people saying that it was satanic, but I've never seen those concerts or Playboy or Uzi. A Travis Scott concert is really hard to actually put into words. It's just like raw, I would say like euphoria, really. And it's just everybody in the crowd is just so on the same vibe of just basically this euphoric energy. And you're just going crazy in the crowd. But it really is quite a unique experience to actually put into words. I've seen Travis Scott live twice. And yeah, I mean, it's just one of a kind, man. I think he's one of the greatest performers in modern times. When it comes to music, I mean, there's not many people doing it at his level, but I would say it's basically mosh pits to the highest degree, man. Crazy mosh pits, and the loudest of loud. It's the thing; it's all the elements of metal, just with the different type of music, but it's so closely related. It's interesting. I'm frozen. That's not good. The satanic thing can get corny too. Yeah, I agree. But it's funny, again, another similarity, like everybody thought that rock and metal guys were satanic in the 80s and 90s and the 70s. Now they think the rock stars are satanic and they're playing into that. But it's at a higher degree because of social media. It's more elevated. So yeah, I mean it's something, I think that's something that artists have always played into. But the thing is that I find the guys who the metal guys would play into that to get attention genuinely. I do think some of the rap guys are actually kind of twisted. So, but the same could be said for rock. Motley Crue and them were doing black magic and occultist kind of stuff. I mean, Blackie Lawless from Wasp was a member of the occult. He was doing satanic things until he got scared straight. So there was a lot of truth to it. You can't just say that no rockers were satanic, just like you can't say no rappers were satanic. Yeah. Been around a long time. Can't believe how things have changed. I never felt mosh pits were rock. Guess I'm just old. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that mosh pits are a staple of rock music to my generation because it's part of the fantasy of a rock concert. Most of the people in my generation have never seen a rock concert. And if they have, it's like we've seen Metallica today, but we never got to see like Caught in a Mosh at Metallica. We never got to see that stuff. So yeah, I think that's kind of why. Like that's how we picture it. How would you describe a metal show? The songs do come from somewhere. I suppose it's corny just talking about it. Crowd surfing was always fun. Diddy's Coming, probably somewhere. Am I wearing makeup? Of course. Pantera mosh pits are different. Dude, that's the thing. Like, that's Kevin, that's what I'm saying. I've seen Pantera in 2024. I can't even imagine. Because it was crazy in 2024. I can't even imagine in their prime. So yeah, guys. Fun stream. We're going to be back. Make sure to subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that sub and hit that like. Had an awesome time on the stream. We'll do some more election stuff. You guys seem to really like my election topics. I'm just coming on here talking shit. So if you guys enjoy it, we're definitely gonna keep going. So shout out to my guys on YouTube. Shout out Kev. Shout out to my guys on Facebook. And we will catch you guys on the next round.